Welcome to the 2022 Three Arts Awards. This is one of my favorite events of the year, coming to you online so we can celebrate the greatness of Chicago's artists with as big an audience as possible. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kat Tager, Chair of the Three Arts Board of Directors, and I'm excited to help kick off our evening from the beautiful breathing room space on the South Side. First, we have a lot of people to thank, including the contributors you've just seen on screen, to our presenting sponsor Allstate, and all others who help make tonight possible, plus those who provide year-round support to Three Arts. Thank you. We're honored beyond measure to have a wonderful trio of co-chairs leading us this evening, Candace Hunter, Lynn Lockwood, and Mel Smith. You'll meet them shortly. We're grateful to them and the entire host committee for helping us pack the virtual house this evening. Tonight, we'll be joining you from all neighborhoods around the city, from venues closely connected to this year's awardees to celebrate Chicago artists. We'll introduce you to 23 remarkable individuals working in the performing, teaching, and visual arts, plus showcase world premieres by past awardees in the Three Arts Network. Our event features American Sign Language interpretation and open captioning. We also have the opportunity to access an audio-described version of tonight's video. For those of you joining us on YouTube, you'll notice we have a chat stream off to the right. Please use that to share your cheers and shout-outs. You also have the option to turn the chat off entirely if you want to focus on the program. Last but not least, we are so grateful for any donations made tonight to help Three Arts fuel our work supporting women artists, artists of color, and deaf and disabled artists. Continuing a new tradition, we are proud to split any proceeds tonight with another admired arts organization. This year's co-beneficiary is the Ukrainian Institute of Modern Art, which preserves and promotes contemporary art as a shared expression of the Ukrainian and American experience. Now, it is my great pleasure to present a new work by past Three Arts awardee Santiago X, helping to ground our celebration in an acknowledgement of the place we call Chicago.
Of the land of the water of the sky of the earth. Ancestors within us, below us, around us, through us. Walls will fall, pixels to dust. We will return. Humans lead. Living planets in flux. Constant mutation. Orbit. A dying star. Human beings. Not mascots. Future. Not past. Living, breathing, being. Walls will fall. Pixels to dust.
Thank you so much, X, for that beautiful piece and for helping us all honor the traditional lands we're on. I'm Aram Han Sifuentes, and I'm so glad to be with you all tonight. I'm currently joining you all from San Cristobal de las Casas in Chiapas, Mexico. These annual 3 Art celebrations are so exciting and meaningful, and I can't wait to cheer on all the new award recipients with you later tonight. But first, I'm really excited to share with you a brand new performance by me and members of Woori Sori, an all-women's Pungmur Korean drumming group. Woori Sori means our voice in Korean. We are a multi-generational group of mothers, sisters, community workers, and organizers who share commitment to working together to achieve gender, racial, social, and economic justice. The garments you will see in this performance was made by myself and my studio assistants, Eric Guy and Sarah White, as part of my project, Protest Garment Lab. As a 3Arts awardee and Next Level Spare Room awardee, I am excited to be able to share my work with the 3Arts community, who have given me so much support over the years. I'm thrilled and honored to be part of the celebration. And now, I present to you Woori Sori.
Wow, what an amazing performance by Aram and the Woori Sori percussion group. Thank you all. Hi, I'm Lynn Lockwood, one of tonight's co-chairs, and I'm so thrilled to be coming to you from the Urban Theater Company, one of Chicago's great storefront theaters in the heart of Humboldt Park. I'm also wearing another hat tonight, representing past board members of the Three Arts Club, an earlier iteration of what Three Arts is today. Taking that history into account, Three Arts is actually 110 years old this year. I invite you to read all about our history at threearts.org. I want to take a moment and thank all the past and current board members over the, 11 decades who've supported the club then and Three Arts now, allowing it to thrive and support artists in not one, but 2 centuries. In that same spirit, the Make a Wave program, which I'm here to introduce, is all about passing the baton, paying it forward, and spreading the love of amazing work and art. Make a Wave is a rare artist-to-artist program in which all of last year's Three Arts awardees have the opportunity to handpick an artist who's going to receive a surprise $2,000 grant from Three Arts. 10 artists are given a gift to give a gift, to shine a spotlight on another artist and pass the baton. Well, now it's my gift and honor to introduce to you the 10 newest Make a Wave recipients selected by the 2021 Three Arts awardees. The recipients are Zara Glenda Baker, Maggie Brown, Leah Rochelle Gibson, Terry Guest, Malik Johnson, aka 99 the producer, Ivan Lozano, Elizabeth Cian Wu, aka Kerberos, Steph Skills, Andrea Yarborough, Y. Yim. Finally, we want to give a special thanks to our Make a Wave partner, the Siragusa Family Foundation. And congratulations to all these fantastic artists.
Hi everyone, and what a night it's been so far. First, I'd like to start off by saying congratulations to the Make a Wave artists, as well as all the other awardees tonight. I wanted to introduce myself and the piece that is coming up. My name is Robby Lee Williams. I'm a disabled dancer here in Humboldt Park in the Chicago area. When I was asked by Three Arts to prepare a dance piece for this big awards event, of course I jumped on it. I said, yes, let's do this. I put together a team of friends and artists who are all just absolutely incredible, and we wanted to put together this piece for you. We've called it A Memory of Joy, and it's an exploration of getting to know yourself again, finding that little bit of happiness that you might have forgotten in an unexpected place. So enjoy and have a great evening.
Thank you, Robby, and your fabulous collaborators for that moving and lovely dance film. Hi, everyone. I'm Esther Grimm, and I'm the Executive Director of 3 Arts. I'm coming to you from Loyola University's beautiful Lakeshore campus. It is pure joy to be here with all of you to celebrate the 2022 3 Arts Awards in this, our 15th awards anniversary year. No matter how many turns around the sun we make, each year's new awardees bring a needed jolt of hope, a rousing promise to the future, and a powerful reminder that art endures. We're rolling out the welcome mat for all of the new awardees who are joining the 3 Arts Network this evening, and as of this very moment, that network is a whopping 520 artists strong. It is now my great honor to introduce you to the 10 artists who were selected by 35 local nominators and 5 national jury panels to receive $30,000 unrestricted 3 Arts Awards to help them light the way forward and bring their own large measure of fortitude, radiance, and mettle to the fore, to our city, and to our hearts. Welcome to 3 Arts.
I was in the middle of walking my dog.
I was in the car. I was on tour at a studio visit.
I have 3 kids, so I was getting ready.
And there was a lot going on.
I saw a 312 number that I didn't recognize.
So I answered the phone and I'm like, hello? And she said, well, hi.
I'm gonna make your day.
Oh boy.
And I'm pretty sure I screamed into the phone.
Absolute shock. I believe my words were, I can't feel my face.
I just started crying.
Nothing but tears.
I was stunned. I really couldn't say anything.
I think I continuously said, thank you, and
Esther goes, you must be really overwhelmed right now.
I'm still sitting with it.
The overwhelming feeling I felt was affirmed.
It's like I'm on the right path.
You're in this industry for so long, wondering if you're making an impact.
I've applied before and I've been a nominator. It never dawned on me that I would actually get this.
I was in such like a tender space.
It was one of those days that I was feeling really low, and I just feel so grateful to be seen.
It's still hitting me like every day. It's really beautiful.
Kenya, vocalist, pianist, composer, and arranger. Music chose me, or we chose each other. I first started plucking out things when I was 6, and the more I did it, the more I really understood, like, oh, this is something special, this is a gift. And have been studying and pursuing it very seriously, honestly, since then. I like to call myself multi-genre. I think my sound encompasses a lot of different influences. I'm also multidisciplinary. Did most of my training and studying as a vocalist, but I also play piano and compose and arrange. I've musically directed. I always try to lead with what I'm feeling, what resonates with me. I think if I'm thinking from the outside in, it's a little inauthentic, it's a little disingenuous, and I think the listener can feel that. And so even if they don't necessarily relate to the exact experience I'm describing, it's the sharing of myself and the willingness to be vulnerable, the authenticity that is so universal. I also tend to think if I'm really feeling this, other people are going to feel this. You know, it's making me nod my head. It's making me want to get up and dance. I'm a human. Other humans will probably, be able to relate to this and connect to this as well. I've never really had a process. I'm just constantly open to the spirit of creativity. I've gone to sleep and woken up and just written songs and sometimes produced them all right there. I think when I heed that call, grab the phone, do that voice memo, write that down, that is allowing me to channel it and let the things that are supposed to come through me.
Peregrine Burmese, teaching artist and community herbalist. I love inspiring moments of awe and curiosity in people's hearts and minds. A lot of my teaching arts strives to inspire a sense of slowness around this non-human ecosystem and the ways that we collaborate. The first time I experienced a belonging that I could rest in was with the non-human world. I could just get lost in sitting outside and listening to the music of the night hawks. Same with the plants. In my opinion, the best art already exists out in nature. I have nothing to add to that, but to be present and witness. I do consider that to be part of my arts practice, and maybe the foundation of my arts practice is deep listening. When I'm called to hold a space for other folks, whether that be, an herbal knowledge share, a yoga workshop, or a breath workshop, that's something that I'm always trying to cultivate. What are the things that we need in order to have this conversation that we're about to have on the topic of the class, but also what do we need in order to really land in our bodies and be present with each other and expand our awareness as individuals to this earth and the land that we're on. We have classes with the Chicago Park District, apprenticing with a creature of the non-human world. There's something about feeding the inner child that I want to bring into all of the work that I do, keeping that sense of wonder alive in each of us.
Rosalinda Borchila, artist, creative researcher, media maker. The theme of my work is usually places, how places are constructed, how they're connected to other places, and how power is encoded in them. Ultimately trying to sort of understand ourselves in place, wondering how do we live? It is helpful for me to grapple with these questions using methods that we understand conventionally as being artistic, drawing from as many traditions of practice as possible, struggle politics that come from art making, media making, so as many tools as possible and as many relationships with people as possible to keep asking these questions. I was a recent immigrant without legal status, and going to college was the only way to secure legal status. So I think I became trained professionally as an artist through a series of circumstances that actually had to do with immigration status and class and survival needs. But I actually left art for many years to focus on community organizing, because what's at stake there is how to relate to people in ways that are not determined by capitalist forms of power, by settler colonial forms of power. I look for ways to engage with people and publics. I find places stimulating when engaged through a collective kind of walk. For me, it has been more about trying to learn and develop methods of searching and researching and exploration, charting relationalities in ways that you can't ignore, but also finding places that are particularly welcoming and particularly productive in showing and teaching, so that for us to read them is a little bit easier. It's a little more accessible.
Zakia Najiba Dumas O'Neill, multidisciplinary artist. I make images through photography, and I also take images that already exist and also work them into my work. I had kind of a very complicated childhood. My way of escaping that was through art. I'm trying to piece together experiences that I have with women that I'm close to. A lot of the times I'm working through like the love that I have for a friend or my family. Like I think a lot about my mother. I also utilize these images, whether it's video or photography, to really just kind of sit with who I am and think about where I belong, or think about the people that I belong to, thinking about the things that keep me tied to these specific individuals or a community. That's really messy and complicated. So I see my work as a way to try to just like sit with the emotions of that, or try to make it, I guess, make sense. My work is really referential to Black women and Black women's political contributions or their literary contributions or artistic contributions. But I would hope that visually it translates in a way that feels very universal for anyone that's engaging with it. I would hope that they feel emotionally like triggered by the work and not in a traumatizing way. Like some of the recent landscape images that I made, I really hope that people looking at it can feel peace or calmness. I hope they can connect to a really specific memory that they have that might be a shared experience.
Miranda Gonzalez, writer, director, producer. I create an archive of stories through my producing, through writing, through directing. I really just want to make sure that there are a variety and diversity of stories that are out there when it comes to theater. I write stories that really resonate with myself, that come from my own lived experiences, as an African-American Mexican person. And when it comes to my directing, I really allow my actors to come into it with their bodies of culture, stripping them from that conservatory mindset. I want them to bring a piece of themselves and to really have a stake in how a story is being told. When it comes to directing storefront theater, it is nothing like a regional theater. You have to literally maneuver everyone around you so they can get to their best selves. And I think a lot about how we interact with one another in these spaces and how much of it comes from insecurity, and I try to strip that away. I make sure that we address it. Where are you at? That they understand that I see them, I hear them, and I hope that today, together, we can make something beautiful that just makes your day a little brighter.
Can't believe you're still playing with dolls.
Joke's on you. Now all my toys take batteries.
Ugh.
There's something about being at a storefront where you create relationships that last for a very long time. You really do connect and impact a community. Myself, Ivan Vega, and Tony Bruno walk down the street and know everyone. And then we create art that just anchors them in that neighborhood. Then we watch interns that grew up a couple of blocks away, then go off to college. They'll tell me, you know what, it really helped me. The way that you are able to create a ripple effect in the world is different.
Winifred Hahn, choreographer. I just love wide open spaces and moving around in them. My father was a photographer, so I think I tend to see in images as well. When I look at a space, I get an idea and I'm filling it with bodies and how it's going to look. And I also like different kinds of spaces. We've performed at Unity Temple, in parks, libraries, museums. And let's face it, the human body can do lots of awesome things. And to add that element into something that's very square or linear or just nature is kind of awesome. When I hire dancers, I want them to be themselves. And so I try to provide an environment where that's possible. I don't like everybody to be the same. It's certainly an aesthetic in the ballet world, but I have this thing where I'm like, I want you right out on the edge of yourself. And then I realize, of course, I'm talking to a bunch of 20-somethings, some 30-somethings. They're like, well, who am I? And so then I would say that you don't have to know yourself to be yourself. I keep saying I'm not going to be that 90-year-old choreographer, but I've been a teacher since I was like 12. I taught the neighbor kids. The little ballet I knew at that time. I want people to have it easier than I had it. I've been supported throughout my career, and I want to give that back. That's how dance is taught, right? Even in this digital age, it's from teacher to student who becomes teacher, student, like that. But that's what drives me. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Nishone Holloway, musician, vocalist, daughter of griots. My first instrument, this is really cheesy, but it's my heart. That's really where I'm coming from. You'll probably always hear me say, harmony is a lifestyle. What I mean by that is it's sort of a practice of the way that I live my life, inciting intrinsic values that are pretty altruistic in nature, like, peace, love, and all of that. I love live performance a lot. When I have a successful night, it feels like something has shifted and changed. I tend to write your typical love songs, but a lot of my work deals with themes that are sometimes allegorical. They might deal with suicide, which I personally have dealt with, or police brutality. So music is a vehicle for teaching lessons about how to get through some difficult stuff. If people are having conversations that don't normally have conversations, or they feel like they can get through a tough moment in their own personal life, I think that's successful. And if I can invite people into their story right now, even instead of an escape, maybe it's an embrace of wherever you are in your life, and help walk people through emotional landscapes. It can be really, really powerful, healing stuff.
What holds you together? He said, emptiness, he said.
Words alone are beautiful, but music is like this conversation between the fathomable and the unfathomable, the tangible, the intangible. It's the in-between. I've also had some moments where I really feel like I'm not on the ground. So I know for me, when I feel like I'm being played as the instrument more so than just performing and hitting a note, it's transcendent.
Simone Reynolds, community arts educator and interdisciplinary artist. I do some world building, inviting people to be as curious as I am, and kind of like enter in this portal of imagination, of dreaming, storytelling. It's a part of like the larger web of what I teach. I always love questions and prompts because I don't expect people to just be like, I have this idea, I have that idea. Sometimes we need guidance, but this is your space, your opportunity to tell your story. And if you don't like the one you have, you can write a new one. We can draw a new one. I don't identify as a visual artist, but I love just inviting people to create visual art in spaces. Just letting their imagination run wild and free. My work is really for Black people, not just for Black people, but I think those who are on the margins of the margins, queer folks, trans folks, disabled folks, poor folks, because that's who I'm in community with. Letting them know that your creativity matters. You don't need to, have all these accolades to be an artist or to be a creative. I get frustrated with the way capitalism just robs us of our visions and our dreams and our imaginations and our creativity. Just because you're a working class person or you're a parent, because I think age plays a role in that too. I'm like, that doesn't mean that you can't draw something beautiful and that you can't imagine with us and create something with us. Everybody does have a different road their experience based off their race, gender, sexuality, class. So make something beautiful where you are, but no, that's not the limits. That's not the capacity for beauty.
Omar Abbas Salem, actor, playwright. I started as an actor and have worked mostly as an actor. And I've worked in so many different storefronts. I can tell you what all the tiny dressing rooms look like, or when you don't have a dressing room and it's just the corner of the backstage. Chicago storefront theater teaches you so much about resilience and problem solving and making the most out of a tiny, tiny budget or a small space. When the pandemic happened and all the theaters were shut down, that allowed me to try playwriting. I found that having worked as an actor in Chicago storefronts enabled me to create stories that I think could fit into any space and weren't impossible to imagine or produce, which I think makes them that much more tangible. As a playwright, I like to write plays or create worlds that allow space for people that don't normally get a space on stage. Queer, Arab, Muslim, brown stories that I haven't seen before. I also want to build a world where things that right now feel impossible to me or right now feel impossible to my community aren't that impossible. Removing that circumstance from the play allows you to expand so much more into circumstances that would happen beyond that. For example, having a family that doesn't accept your queerness is the immediate conflict in a play, but if you have one that does accept your queerness, you can then expand into so many other more nuanced conflicts. I like to imagine a world that I didn't have, that other people might have, and I think that naming those things and hopefully showing people those things just make it easier for those things to be.
Sarita Smith-Childs, choreographer and teaching artist. I always wanted to move. I was just born with it. When I was young, I would hear music and I would have all of this imagery as to what I wanted to do, but I had no idea how to articulate it. Eventually, my mom had enough money to send me to a neighborhood dance school, and that was the beginning of it for me. I didn't even know how Black people would become professional dancers. It was definitely just inside my body. And there was something about dance that was so natural for me. I didn't have to project from my throat. I could project from everywhere. I can project from here, and it can project from my legs. And so I had so many more ways to communicate. So I consider myself a choreographer and a teaching artist, but I'm still a dancer. I will always be a dancer. As a choreographer, the work that I'm doing is really about community, especially communities of color. Work and imagery around social justice and mental health. As a Black female choreographer, it's even more important for me to really express some of the uncomfortableness, but then also bringing it to a point where it has a resolution. Our responsibility is to be a part of that conversation and to help guide society and give opportunities to young people to experience this part of society. I've always been a Chicago-based artist. I've shared the stage with many people. I've trained so many generations, beautiful artists that are now in leadership positions at companies that I could only dream of dancing with. It's so incredible to me to be embraced by this community.
It is very hard to be an artist. It can be very discouraging.
There were just a lot of self-doubts that I used to have.
You're giving yourself over to making sure that you're making a difference in the world, and sometimes that doesn't come with a lot of monetary value, or people don't value it.
Having an organization like this tell you that what you're doing is right has been incredibly reaffirming.
Somebody saying like, hey, I see you.
It's encouragement to keep going. And this is the largest award I've ever received.
Being gifted material resources allows me to exhale.
The first word I think of is rest. In our culture, it is not a reality that you get to say no. That's what that means to me. I did not expect to cry.
I was at a moment where I was asking myself, how am I going to make ends meet?
My first thought was, I'm going to pay rent for myself and my child.
I know that I'll be able to comfortably fund my studio.
I've been pretty starved for community. I'm really excited about residencies, just guidance, maybe mentorship. That's wild. That's a dream.
I'm excited to meet other artists and see where they're at.
Chicago is one of the most talented, creative, innovative places in the world. I'm so happy and proud to have honed my craft here.
The Chicago arts community is just a process of continuously giving and receiving gifts.
We take care of each other.
Being able to do my work here and be celebrated here means the world to me because I respect the creative communities in this city so much.
One of the gifts of this award is that I'm given the ability to make mistakes, to have room to play.
Art making is an important part of what fuels me as a human being, and I want to maintain and grow in that direction.
The award itself will allow me to do so many things that I haven't even conceived of.
To just continue to explore.
To continue on the journey and to really start to build the work and the legacy that I'm trying to leave in my community.
Wow, are you cheering like I am? These artists are truly lighting the way forward. Congratulations to everyone. I'm Candace Hunter, a past award recipient myself and one of tonight's co-chairs. I'm coming to you from the Hyde Park Arts Center, a place that, well, it's my home away from home. I'm here right now, though, to introduce one of the newer programs at 3 Arts called the Next Level Spare Room Awards. I happen to have first-hand knowledge of this new award because just last year, I was on the receiving end of that momentous phone call from 3 Arts letting me know that I'd been selected to receive a Next Level Spare Room Award. So what is this, you ask? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's a game changer. That's what? A $50,000 game changer. Oh, and so much more. With support from an anonymous donor at the Chicago Community Foundation, the Next Level Spare Room Awards go to 3 women visual artists who have previously received either past 3 Arts Awards or fellowships. To receive one award is incredible, but to receive a second larger award at a critical time in one's career, I don't know, call it a moonshot, call it a booster shot. Either way, it's taking you places. Since last year, I've had exhibitions of my work traveling and touring and had my first residency this summer. And I'm going to have my first solo show in the Cantor Gallery here at the Hyde Park Art Center. So you stay tuned for that. So now, it is my great honor to introduce the 3 extraordinary artists who are this year's Next Level recipients. I cannot wait to see what happens next for them, and we'll be cheering the whole way.
I can't imagine my life without art. It was something innate in me. I never questioned it.
As an artist, I always would come back to video.
I find abstraction to be a very powerful way to communicate things that I cannot verbalize or things that I haven't understood myself.
As creators, I think we reach out and catch things and share with other people in a way.
Oftentimes I feel like I don't find the words, and I can do that in a visual way.
My practice is about the expression of my body-mind experience. It's not a process of trying to balance or integrate the body and the mind, but it's more trying to understand how they are interrelated. Having a physical disability doesn't mean that you can overcome it with your mind. What I'm after is learning to exist with that imbalance.
I feel like there's been this separation from other species that we coexist with. In the story that I'm trying to create, I wanted to go back to stop motion animation. I'm really thinking about what it means to kind of come back to that place of connectedness. My family, they're all storytellers, which is a huge part of my practice. And I think right now I'm really trying to embrace myself as a filmmaker.
A lot of my work has disability justice undertones in it. As I'm working through my process, I make a lot of mistakes. And from those mistakes, I find that really interesting things happen. I'm okay with the mistakes and I'm okay with playing. Maybe it's because of my experience as a person with a disability. Adapting and being creative at problem solving, that definitely comes through in the way that I work and approach not only my art, but just everyday life, I think.
I'm existing in spaces that are often not built for bodies like mine. It gives you a different perspective on life. And I think for me, it was like, if I'm going to get out of bed in the morning and do something, what is that going to be? It just very quickly turned into, okay, I found something that I know I'm meant to be doing.
For a long time, it just felt unattainable to call myself an artist and to say that is going to be my profession. And I am in a really exciting place in my career.
I feel like I'm in a place where I know how to move within this practice. I can kind of just sit and breathe out and kind of just really think of all the possibilities.
If we are talking about the next level or a springboard or launching into something, it might just be continuing to explore where I stand, where my work stands.
Artists are asking a lot of questions in a way where it pushes people to think about wondering more so than solutions or answers and things like that, which I think is really important in how we're thinking about coexisting together.
Maybe society has not had a path for us in the past, but we are creating our own. And we are making these spaces where we belong and where we should be recognized and seen.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Congratulations to all of the new recipients of the Next Level Award. That is truly amazing. I already hear the YouTube chat going crazy about it. Hi, my name is Bethany Thomas. I am a Chicago singer, songwriter, actor, and a past 3 Arts Award recipient for music in 2019. When I was applying, one of my work samples was a song I'd written called Walls and Ceilings. I was just getting the album together at that time. But I'm really privileged to be asked to come back and make a video submission for this. So we chose that song, and I think it's kind of like a trippy rock song that's kind of about getting your foot in the door at certain places and having a place set for you at certain tables, but still kind of feeling that you're always in the background and maybe not quite able to move forward in the way that everybody else is, and kind of just feeling like an outlier. The video we've put together is a little bit more of a dreamscape. It's kind of a lot of opening doors and searching for things and seeing yourself places but not sure if it's right, and kind of searching and not knowing what you're looking for until you finally get there. I don't know. I hope you like it. I put it together with Casey Foster. We had a lot of fun. And I'm just excited to revisit this as part of the song, as part of my Three Arts Award journey. And I'm excited to share it with you all first. Here's our first little try. This is the video for Walls and Ceilings. And also congratulations to all of the awards recipients tonight. You are amazing. I can't wait to see all the things that you make. And thank you to Three Arts. I really, really love being part of the Chicago arts community.
My place is set just how I like. You're all so glad and so proud I could make it. I don't quite speak the language, but my dialect is so good. And I keep bumping my head on the ceiling, my head on the ceiling, my head on the ceiling. I keep bumping my head on the ceiling in this house.
Wow. Hi, everybody. I'm not here to do any singing, and believe me, you should be very grateful for that. I'll leave that to artists like Bethany Thomas, one of our city's most dynamic performers. Thank you, Bethany, and your team for bringing us to the end of our night with that powerful performance. I'm Mel Smith, treasurer of the Three Arts Board of Directors and a co-chair this evening. I've been a big fan of this organization for decades, dating back to when it was a residence for women studying the arts in Chicago. As someone who has been involved with a number of mid-sized Chicago organizations supporting the arts and arts education, I can tell you that the work that Three Arts does just keeps getting better and has made a significant impact across our city and beyond. If you're feeling inspired, please consider making a donation tonight. As the treasurer of Three Arts, I can assure you that your donation of any amount will be appreciated and utilized wisely. Also, remember that we're splitting the proceeds with the Ukrainian Institute of Modern Art, where I'm speaking from right now, and where they are currently presenting an exhibition by local Chicago artists. I want to thank everyone involved in tonight's event, especially my fellow board members and the Three Arts staff, who are clearly the backbone of this organization. Join me in applauding them and all the artists who received awards tonight. Thank you, everyone, and good night.